Hi everyone! In today's episode we talk about organizing large mix sessions and what to do when we don't agree with the artist's ideas. Enjoy! Dean FL wants to know, how do you maintain organization in a large session with lots of tracks and effects? How do you do that?
The first thing that comes to my mind is the order of the tracks and track coloring.
Yes.
I always use the same colors for the same kind of tracks. So for me, it's like brownish stuff for drums. Bass is always orange, guitars are always green, vocals are always purple, effects are always green. So I always use the same thing. So when I open a session, at one glance, I see what's going on, what I have, and what is what.
Yeah.
The other thing is reduce the track count as much as possible. Even guys like Chris Lord-Alge, they used to do stuff like reduce everything down to, 46 tracks, because
Probably of the...
Yeah, but he had like a Sony digital tape machine that could play 48 tracks, and his desk has just a limited amount of faders. So compile stuff together. Like, you don't need 25 tracks of lead vocal. You probably need 1 or 2. Sometimes I get stuff to mix, and it's like verse 1, verse 1B, verse 2, 3, 4, and it's all even individual tracks. There is no need to do that. Try to put stuff together as much as possible, as little tracks as possible, and color coding.
Yeah.
What do you have as special?
Nothing special. I mean, I also color code. It's funny. I was waiting if there's maybe one color we have the same, but it's no color. They're all different. My drums are blue. My bass is green.
Bleh.
My guitars are orange.
I don't want to hear this. It's completely wrong.
Me neither. Okay. No, but the other thing is just for like the visual representation of your session, you can use like groups. Just, I mean, you still have the same track number, but if you have like 17 synth tracks and for a moment in your workflow where you don't have to like see all the audio events, and if you have like groups and can like shrink them together, so you just have like, okay, these are the synths, but it just looks like one track.
This equals to folders in Pro Tools then, I guess. In every program it's like, so you only see like one track and maybe like a very, very basic waveform.
Exactly.
And then you can unfold it to see all the tracks.
There's folders in groups in Cubase, and then in Logic it's called something else, but it's the same principle.
That's a good
It's more for
idea
like
too,
a visual representation that makes it a little bit easier to handle, I think.
Yes. Another thing that comes to my mind, which helps me, and I know that other engineers don't do it, but it works for me. I like to cut out empty space in between actual audio information. So I see sometimes other engineers do like mixed decompositions, and all the tracks have the same start and finish. This would drive me personally crazy.
Yeah.
It really helps me to see like, here is a lot of stuff that will probably be the chorus. Sometimes when I'm recording with a band here, and it's like they say, yeah, can you jump to? I'm there immediately, because it's just like I see the session and I know immediately where I'm. Of course, putting markers does no harm either.
Yep.
Just like put like verse 1, verse 2, chorus 1, chorus 2, stuff like this, so that you have like a visual of what is where.
Yeah. Maybe one last thing, because talking about effects, there was also effects in the question. If maybe you run into trouble with resources at some point, like if your computer is not that powerful, for example, and it's the first time you have a really big session, you might get to the point, it's not nice to do it, but you might get to a point where you just have to like comp things and like print things. So
I think that is totally nice. I do this all the time. Commit. It's called commit or freeze, but commit is really commit to it. I do this all the time because it really, it's it's related to the question. It really frees my mind.
Yeah, you're moving forward.
Yes.
There's no more left and right and up and down. It's just like talking about those 17 orange synth tracks. When you like the balance in between those things is perfect. I have the right amount of whatever reverb on them, and I think that's going to be the way they will work in the song. They worked for it the last 15 minutes, so they will work. Just make one audio blob out of it, and you saved a lot.
If there is the need for, you can still unfold it and do a change and recommit, but that's a really good one. There's like, it reduces the track count. It's so nice for your eyes.
Totally, yeah.
I think that these are the basic rules to clean up your session and to have a good overview.
Naming, ordering, coloring, committing, cutting out the silence.
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah. Cool.
Hope that helps.
Thanks.
So, EchoCraft 101. Hi, Echo.
Hey, what's up?
Is asking, how do you deal with artists who have strong opinions on production, but you don't agree with their vision?
I would say the artist, in a way, is always right. That's the very, very simple answer. But in a way, I would say it's the truth. It's the artist, the band, the singer, whoever you are working for. It's their music. They will release it. Their name will be on the cover and not yours.
Yours should also be there.
Not
on the cover, somewhere in the credits.
Yeah, and there's not going to be a promo picture of your face. So, in other words, it's their art. It's their product, however you want to see it. So, if an artist is like, I want this industrial beat to be blah, and you think, but I really don't hear it that way. I mean, you can always try to communicate and give your insight on, not like, but I know better. But you can be like, okay, I get your point. Let me suggest something. And I will explain to you the reason why I would, because blah, 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 you could change it in this way, and this will affect the vocals and blah. So maybe you want to consider thinking those kind of things. But at the end of the day, I think the very simple answer is that in a way, the artist is right. And even if you think it sucks, if the artist is happy, it's hard to argue that.
Yeah, it's the suggestion thing is what you mentioned. This is really the key. This has worked for me in hundreds of sessions. It's really like I tell the musicians, like, okay, I will make you suggestions. I just throw stuff on the table, and either you see the point and you accept it, or you have the veto.
Yeah,
this is clear. The only maybe exception would be if you are hired as producer.
Sure. Yeah.
That is a slightly different thing, but this is something that has to be communicated in advance. Sometimes bands, because they know that there are 5 band members and they won't be okay with one thing anyway, so they need someone from the outside who is going to take decisions where the band cannot agree on stuff.
Yeah.
So then the responsibility is with the producer, and if communication has been good up front, then everybody will listen to the producer. If he says it's going to be green, although everyone else thinks it should be blue, then it's going to be green. Of course, if you are a good producer, you will still listen. But if you really know that something is not going to work and is not going to do the band a favor or something, then you will have to take the decision. But except from this scenario, the artist is the customer. The customer is always right.
Yeah, I would maybe like to add, just to clarify what I said before. If you are just the engineer, or you're just hired to mix a song, What I meant, just to clarify, is I think it's important that if somebody, for example, says, we want the bass to be bigger, and you feel like, okay, that's possible, but you know, because you know the session, you know what's going on in the session, you know that this will affect something else that they might not be aware of, because they just think more bass means more bass, but you would be able to tell them, more bass is gonna mean more bass, but it's also gonna mean whatever. The vocals will appear to be more dry because whatever, the bass synth eats up more of the. So just be aware of that. Just want to clarify this because I think that's an important thing and also a strong tool for maybe somebody who's starting out. To not be just, no, we can do this, or yes, we can do this. Give some context.
Yes.
What it might affect other than the thing they want to change.
Totally.
I think that's a...
And at the end of the day, communication is the key. So if you are able to clearly articulate what the issue might be with something, then chances are high that the artist will agree and you won't be disagreeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Hope that helps.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.